Shanghai has been described as the showpiece of the booming economy, which is mainland China. And of course, the only showpiece that we're going to be talking about right now is this matchup here between TyLoo and B.O.O.T-ds. B.O.O.T-ds?
B.O.O.T-ds. B.O.O.T-ds works.
That's not bad.
That's pretty good. It's better than what they have. B.O.O.T-ds. Never mind.
There's some other wordage after it I don't quite understand.
Leto is a sponsor. It's a gaming, it's a gambling company, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, yep, yeah. We're definitely not going to be talking about that on here. Anyway, so let's try to make sense and wrap our heads around Dust 2, because that was a hell of a showing. We saw all sorts of stuff, perhaps 2v5 situations going in the way of the TyLoo, I guess.
Listen, man. For Dreamscape, they won the first 4 rounds. I'm like, something might be happening here. And then TyLoo is like, all right, guys, like switch on the monitors, plug in the mice. 16 rounds in a row. That 2v5 where B.O.O.T-ds got 3 kills, and D.D, I think it was a 10 HP, got 2 frags right there, and they won the 2v5 without dying. That pretty much was the entire story of that map. It was just completely getting out-dueled, out-aimed, and completely, utterly...
Well, yes, I know what you meant there, and I kind of got the sentiment before and after you didn't say it. It's also one of those things where maybe I expected a little more of a slobber knocker. I expected something just a little bit more, what is the word? It's not...
Slobber knocker?
Girthy? No, that's not the word.
Girthy?
Nick Stacy's playing tomorrow.
I'm thinking about a word that could describe, like, thinking this could be a closer matchup, honestly.
Yeah, it should be, considering that it is B.O.O.T.'s map pick as well. Like there was
and Dust 2 as well, right?
Dust 2 as well, yeah. This was their chance to get into the fight, as you alert to in the pregame. Mirage is not a map you want to play against TyLoo. That's the next one we're going to see. And basically, it was just a very disappointing show for B.O.O.T., I'd say. I mean, TyLoo is a decent team. We've seen them time and time again qualify for these big tournaments. They do well all the time. It's not like they get barred out and you think to yourself, TyLoo has no future. They always do something at events like this, whereas B.O.O.T. is the team that you said it yourself, like, online, they're good, they're decent, but when it comes to lane, they really haven't found the key yet. And we talked about it, you know, could the first win against Gambit be the key to open this potential they have? The answer right now is no. It's simply just not good enough. And I feel like TyLoo is at a page right now where they're looking to win this tournament. Energy is not good right now.
They're looking the best right now. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, this is the best team we looked, and Dust 2 is a map they can put into the map pool now as well and pick against a team like Energy, who's not familiar with you.
And that could have definitely been a statement map for them to say, hey, you don't want to play us on Dust 2 the rest of this tournament. I'm just going to call it how I see it. Now, switching away from Dust 2, we're going to be going into Mirage. That's going to be the second map of the series, what could ultimately be the last map of the evening. But what should we expect? More of the same here going into this map?
Here's the thing. I've seen Dreamscape play Mirage quite a number of times. They try to make it one of the main maps for quite a long time, in fact, and they've always struggled. The CD side is extremely passive. They have no real good crossfires being set up, and usually they rely on huge individual performances to really take them through, right? I don't think they've ever won a map against TyLoo and Mirage, maybe once or twice online. And this is the map where TyLoo aren't just the best team in this tournament on this map. They're also one of the best teams in the world, right? They can pull off these upset wins against the likes of a FaZe. Maybe not in Astralis, but almost everyone else, right? So this one, looking at Dust 2, I think this is just going to be the meat grinder trace for Dreamscape. They are going to get completely, utterly wrecked. I'm going to play this one. So.
Grinded.
Grinded, yeah, there
Grinded.
we go.
Yes, not to be confused with the app that you use sometimes spam. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about Mirage. Not Dust 2, but you knew it was coming. You had to have known that was coming. It was a little too easy. Low-hanging fruit, as they once said.
That's what you do, Trace. You pick the low-hanging fruit.
Yes, thank you, Pimp, for that. I'm kidding. Mirage, though.
Yeah.
Do they even need to be activated any more than they already are?
Yeah, I mean, they do, because we saw in the first 4 rounds in Dust 2 that B.O.O.T. can play Counter-Strike. We also saw in Train that they are a decent team. You know, they have those individuals that can step up once in a while. We'll say, though, that TyLoo, as you said, alert to, like, they're a great Mirage team. They have a decent amount of upset wins.
They picked it.
They picked it as well. Yep. That's obviously the first, key going into Trace. You're becoming a great analyst, right? I don't
think we can do anything.
Kind of coming together, isn't it?
It's kind of coming together. But as you said,
I mean, think about it, right? Chad's moved on to the casting desk. You're just coming to analyze us, and we probably co-host this thing. But seriously speaking, the Mirage is a map where TyLoo, they have so much of variety in the way they play this map that it's going to be very, very hard indeed for Dreamscape. Like, for example, you're not just talking about Extra going off, and B.O.O.T is on fire. And if he's on fire, I mean, he can be quite a beast. I remember watching him against FaZe, where he was in the top fragging against FaZe, for crying out loud, against the likes of a Nico, against the likes of a Guardian. So this guy can, literally, against a team like Dreamscape, he doesn't need to think. He just needs to just push in and get those kills, and it's going to be pretty much a wrap, unless Dreamscape really shake things off here and try. And I've said this time and time again, I don't want to sound like a broken clock or whatever, but they need to be a little bit more disruptive. They need to make TyLoo feel a little uncomfortable Don't just try for like some set executes or try and play default. You need to go aggressive. You need to have that mid control. Go for this apartment pushes. Go for that B apps control. Something of that nature to try and mix things up.
They need to play like they did online. Last time they met, they demolished TyLoo online. So why not do that again?
Just put some webcams on them, like and pretend you're in your boot camp.
Think about this for a crazy scenario right here. Think about what if the vetoes were actually done in a way that, well, B.O.O.T is prepared to the nines on Mirage, but Dust 2, they're like, you know what, we'll pick that just in case.
I think you forgot your tinfoil hat back with the... yeah, I'm just saying, man. Like,
yeah, you know...
They look pretty happy, though. They look pretty comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, you can see them. They're in the zone. They're ready to take this one. They're ready to get in the driver's seat and kind of run away with it. And I think, for all intents and purposes, it's very much the stage set for that. We do have about a minute and a half left before we do jump into game. And actually, at this time, I'm going to encourage all of Twitch chat to do something that, well, might get you in trouble. Type 1 for TyLoo, type 2 for B.O.O.T. And with that, what are you guys going to type?
1. Because you know why? Because China #1.
Outstanding, Bleth. Thank you very much. Pimp, what is your prediction? In all seriousness, I'm going to give you the whole minute to do it.
The whole minute to do it. I need roughly 5 seconds. I think TyLoo is going to win. I would put in #1, not because China's the best, but because they're the best of the rest.
Okay.
All right, then.
That took all of 6 to 7 seconds.
I told you 5 seconds.
Okay, not bad. So you still overshot a little bit. Either way, this could be an overshot here from TyLoo because I feel like they're just on one right now. They are here, and they're playing for more than just a one-off showing. They're playing for a lot of different reasons right now to prove themselves on the mainland.
Yeah, I feel like you have a lot of common with TyLoo in that case.
Okay, go on. I'm listening.
No, do you? Like, I'm asking.
I don't think, I don't think so, Jacob. Honestly, I don't think so. But right now, I think you should play for keeps and maybe keep it to yourself. And with that said, we're going to be going into 15 seconds on the countdown. Guys, I think this one is poised to be an absolute banger. And you know what?
Someone's doing the banking here.
The chat has done everything I've asked. I can't ask for much more. I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but don't tell them. Don't tell them I told you to start lulling the time away right now. B.O.O.T Dreamscape versus TyLoo. The second map, it's going to be Mirage. It's going to be Harry and Snods. Take it away, boys.
Thank you very much, Trace. Yes, we'll be heading on through to this second map. In the winners' best of 3, TyLoo currently up 1-0 after winning out Dust 2, the map pick of B.O.O.T. Will they continue their dominant form, or are we going to see B.O.O.T switch things up and take us through to a third map? That, of course, would be Inferno if we get there.
Well, just looking at the map itself, Harry. Mirage is one, synonymous with TyLoo. It used to be for upsets, but now they've come together as quite the formidable force as of late. But into this one, the pistol round itself. Bente going to be spread out towards the top of middle. As Benkai will fall back slowly. Bomb outside the B apartments as they have the 2 smokes onto Bente and Excurate. So they can smoke off the left and right side of the short pillar and try and isolate the players on the side. However, Tommy here towards the B site, baiting for his teammate there. Let's see if it's even going to come down to that.
Well, they managed to get past Bunkai, but there's still 3 players here, one of those being Impression. He chimes in. It's actually Splashki with a quick double, triple kill now, and somebody left in a 1v4. And it's not meant to be. Boa's all going to finish him off. B.O.O.T find the pistol here on Mirage. If you recall, over on Dust, they were able to do the same. They found the pistol to kickstart the first half, went 3-0 up, and then only managed 1 rifle round in the entirety of the rest of the game.
So, just to summarize the point, can't exactly put too much stock into that pistol round win from B.O.O.T, as obviously they still struggled after that early conversion of the pistol into the 3-0 lead. But round number 2 here, going to be somebody with a Deagle. Obviously an extremely strong performance on the last map on Dust 2. Trying to see if you can force the issue with that Desert Eagle. They have gone for the full 5-man force by just Excurate onto the Scout with $700 left in his bank balance. So even he won't be able to afford the AWP into the first Byron if he doesn't find a kill. That's Splashki with a teammate Flashbang. Will be able to peer in towards middle and spot a few players there towards the back boxes. Not sure if he did spot the bomb though, so for B.O.O.T as of yet, still not quite sure as to where TyLoo are eventually going to be concluding.
No, they most certainly are not, but they've set up with a quick rotation in towards E, the bomb site courtesy of Splashski. He has been able to trade. It's Execute to open up there with his scout. D.D even sneaking by. Execute chiming in with another. This scout doing so much damage. D.D will be spotted. Splashski going to fall to him. Now he's not going to be ready for Bunkai. He played the long game there, waiting for him to get by. Over here on the ramp, that's somebody. Execute's already claimed 2 lives with the scout down in mid. Looks to continue that form. And actually right now, if this bomb gets planted for middle, Execute going to be in a great spot to hold this off.
Yeah, you can see as well, Benkai going to be hearing the footsteps towards Connector from Execute. And unfortunately there for TyLoo, not anticipating the perfectly timed peek from Benkai. 10 seconds left on the clock. Catches both those TyLoo players off guard and does grant B.O.O.T their second round. As we head into the third, it will be the Follico from TyLoo. Thanks to the 2 kills from Execute Scout, he can afford the open to the first buy round, and obviously, with the past month essentially at the CAC Counter-Strike Asian Championships, he was formidable in that semi-final and tournament finish. But anyway, going to be the eco here coming out from TyLoo on their T side. There are some SMGs here from B.O.O.T, so they can try and farm up as much cash as possible. But it should be a fairly clean-cut, clinical round here for the players from Singapore.
Yeah, you'd hope so, but already Captain Mo can decapitate Splashski. Not content with that one frag, they're going to go walking over here in towards middle Bunkai. Yeah, a bit of a tricky spot. Does have support from Bobasaur to shut down the remaining players over here in mid. How many more frags are they going to feed to Captain Mo? Bunkai's tagged low. Bomb inside a connector, and not entirely sure they know, but the peek from Bunkai going to find his third of the round, the hat trick. Throws an AK down for Tommy to retrieve, but he doesn't quite get there in time. It is going to be the 3-0 lead for B.O.O.T as they find the pistol and then convert the 2 anti-ecos as well, but now the buy comes in for TyLoo.
So, coming into the first buy round here from TyLoo, what's going to be their angle of approach? Is it going to be mid-control, like what we saw earlier from the North American side of NRG and the international squad of Hellraisers? Are they going to try something a little bit strange and unorthodox? As that's what they're really known for, fast, aggressive plays, and somebody showing us just that. Already a double entry towards the A site as the rest of TyLoo trying to see if they can come out through Palace and through ramp. Has kills just across the board in favor of the Chinese.
Yeah, everyone is dead, and that's with the exception of Impression, obviously. But even then, maybe his time's fairly limited. He's over here in Kitchen. And TyLoo, they understand why they might be dubious to go hunting. They know the benefit of keeping 5 players' lives monumental over on this T side. So they're going to add an opt to do just that. Execute creeping over towards short might discover the whereabouts of Impression, but you don't imagine they sacrifice too much going his way to try and take away this one rifle. Thing is, if it's saved, you could look for B.O.O.T to go for a 4 spy. Splashski and Tommy can both invest. Impression, $50 short of actually dropping an M4 over is always going to be a bit gut-wrenching, so.
This is the replay of the first 2 entries and the third as well towards jungle to deny Tommy any chance of basically shooting down the TyLoo players as they try to cross through ramp towards the default site. Deep B apartment smoke from Impression. Doesn't quite get thrown out just yet, as instead it feels like he's going to be saving that smoke for later. TyLoo. One of the things we're used to seeing as well from TyLoo is that heavy A presence on their T side. Obviously, when you have such strong individual players, they can force the issue of charging out through ramp, taking those aim jewels towards connector, towards stairs, towards CT. And right now, they're going to have to replicate that once more.
Yeah, and here we go. Flashes out from Palace. Molotov's raining over towards bench, denies the aggression through from a lone B.O.O.T defender. Well, Nexcurrent and Captain Mo have already opened up. B.O.O.T-ds, of course, with big boots to fill. And instead, he'll be filling a coffin. He goes down. Just Impression and Tommy left alive. Impression's going to manage one. Desperately trying to hold on. Quick second kill to his name now, but Captain Mo going to trade things out. So the hat trick for him means TyLoo managed to find themselves that second round there. And there is going to be enough money for B.O.O.T to go for a buy here. It's not fantastic, but it's not the worst of buys either. AWP going to be bought up. You just saw that thrown over to Splashski.
Yeah, the real question is, though, Harry, it's not about the quality of the buy, it's what can they do with it. With the UMP onto B.O.O.T-d, he's going to be playing a close-range angle, maybe pushing in towards B apartments, pushing in towards middle, or playing underpass, something where he can take the fight up close. As B.O.O.T actually could be going for some unorthodox plays in towards middle of the smokes and whatnot.
Yeah, B.O.O.T-d's completely unknown down here in mid. There was the opportunity to find an opener. Maybe the nade does it, but no, it does not. And instead, he actually gives away that opening kill. Now, TyLoo once again with control of mid. They're just going to go to give it up. They go ahead and leave, turning their attention elsewhere.
They have Captain Mo in towards Palace. Somebody going in towards B apartments as well. He can smoke out towards the B site. Flash over as well towards the B short archers and try and force rotations towards the B site. And just like that, Harry, he's already drawn 2 rotations from middle and CT in towards the B site. Job done for him, but now the new job arises for Splashski. As can he try and hold the line towards the A site as the push comes through.
That's just not happening.
No, it's not. You know, he even had the advantage. There was no utility usage, no flashbang pulled out by TyLoo. Instead, just brute force once again.
Yeah, this is utter destruction. Just Tommy and Impression left alive. And it's not going to be happening for them. TyLoo going to be picking up a 3rd round. I'm having flashbacks to Dust 2 where we saw B.O.O.T manage to get 1 in their rifle rounds. You know, we'll be seeing the same sort of thing again. TyLoo chaining together a few rounds early on. The second the rifles are bought out. This time even going so far as to hunt down the remaining players on this B.O.O.T side. So nothing carried forward, money runs out. Now TyLoo looking to jump into the lead.
Well, jump in momentarily, as there will be a slight delay. B.O.O.T do call for the tactical timeout, and it's good to see this early as well. They're not going to be losing control of the matchup. There is still 3-3, so they are still tied up here. One of the big problems you do see sometimes is when it's 6-3 down, 7-1 down, where you call for that first pause and they can already be too late. But it is going to be the eco here coming out from the CT side. The Singaporeans going to be just taking this round on the chin here, playing it calm and collected, and just an HE investment for Tommy. But apart from that, USPs and 1 deagle onto B.O.O.T across the board. Should be seeing TyLoo take the advantage, as you said. In terms of adjustments on their CT side, it's going to be very tough. They're losing out each and every aim duel, it feels like. On Dust 2, definitely exemplified that. Here on Mirage early on, somebody or other players as well, B.O.O.T especially, they can just win rounds on the back of solo performances. And to be blunt, it feels like B.O.O.T just don't have the skill to fight back versus them on land.
Oh. Yeah, TyLoo, we're just kind of having fun with it as well. That's also what it feels like, right? And I always think a team is most deadly if they're, well, I mean, if they're just having fun. It's scary because they're feeling confident, but also because if you're allowing them just to, like, you know, mess around and still do well, then it implies that they're just kind of styling on you, right? And that's definitely the case right now. 4-3, TyLoo springing into the lead.
5 players staying alive as well versus the eco from B.O.O.T. In terms of cash, we're looking at, my goodness, 11,000 for somebody and Captain Mo, 10,000 as well for B.O.O.T. So TyLoo can buy 3 or 4 extra rounds going forward, which means if B.O.O.T want any chance of drawing out an eco, drawing out some easier free rounds, they're going to have some consistency here on their CT side, as it's been rather one-sided. Wow, 3 times they've had 5 players alive. That is ludicrous.
So out of the last 14 rounds, where a possible 20 people could have died, 18 people have survived. Said that a really weird way around.
Quick maths.
That's pretty mental. So money is no issue for TyLoo. Everyone's sitting on above $6,000. That's the lowest they have on X Group, but the rest of the guys in, you know, the $10,000 mark. B.O.O.T opens up. They just brute force into this B bomb site. Tommy, an impression, maybe going to throw this round into disarray. Try as they might. They hold on to this B bomb site. B.O.T and X Group left alive.
The bomb going to be making its way back towards T-spawn here. B.O.T holding and trying to cut the map in half, essentially, and denying the rotations towards CT. Doesn't know that Splashkey has rotated, though, with the AWP towards CT spawn. Which means, once it has been cleared, the bomb can be planted for jungle as well, which means B.O.T will have that advantage in the afterplant if Excurate does die early. Bomb planted. Ooh, will he be spotted? They're going back, and he does make it away scot-free.
Yeah, this is where B.O.T can cause him so many problems. Excurate, especially now that he's won that fight out. There's his presence over towards ramp that they just can't deal with. Impression left in a 1v2. And he's just not even going to arrive at the bomb site. He's going to back away. And even then, will he get away with that? TyLoo going to be moving on to a 5th round guaranteed at this point in time. B.O.T might catch the timing. He hears the footsteps. He hears Impression running for the hills. He's going to go hunting him down. He knows the implications of taking this rifle away. Means that there is nothing for B.O.O.T into this next round. And he is going to be able to find it. So now it's back to the drawing board, back to having no money for this B.O.O.T side.
Wow, so far this match just canvassing the discrepancy between its players from TyLoo and B.O.O.T in terms of individual skill. Winning the aim duels, winning the one-on-ones, winning these aim battles that open up the sights and make the difference in the afterplants. I mean, Excurate as well to win that 2 versus 3 initial duel versus Splashkey towards CT with the AWP battle. Pretty much sealed the deal for the round in favor of TyLoo. And for B.O.O.T, in terms of mental fortitude, they did win their first best of one. They have something to fall back on in terms of a safety net. What would that be sitting on their minds currently is they do go 1 for 1 in terms of kills. 4 versus 4 now as the Molotov will deny the choke point push from TyLoo. And actually it feels like Excurate just does not care at all, Harry. Charges straight through the AWP. Even with the Deagle, he's still delivering devilish blows.
Yeah, but nope. Never mind, TyLoo answers back. I thought maybe something might have come of this round. The bomb's gone back towards B. And if you're Tommy, you want to think about saving. There's guns all over this bomb site. But there's also TyLoo at ramp, who's not going to let you get away with anything for free. You'll have to win this first fight out if you want a chance of saving anything. Now it's just a question of who spots who first. TyLoo going to be the one to spot out Tommy, and that will be the round going the way of the TyLoo, 6-3.
6 rounds, 1 in a row for TyLoo. On the last map, it was 11 consecutive rounds, 1 for them. And this is just Excurate. No fear, fully confident within his plays to charge with the Molotov and get another entry in towards the A side, making things so awkward for B.O.O.T to deal with because not only are TyLoo just constantly going towards this A side, feels like they even forget about middle's even a thing. It's the fact that they can do it in such a embarrassing fashion of just outskilling you, schooling you essentially in these 1 versus 1s and across the map. But CT aggression early on will grant B.O.O.T domain of middle. The question is though, what do they do with it? Now that they know that TyLoo have to be towards A or towards B as they have cleared mid, where are they going to be stacking their players and how are they going to be gambling the potential stack of a site? Or are they going to try and get even more information and get greedy and push somewhere to try and exactly know where TyLoo are going to try and execute?
They're going to try and go aggro over here towards the top of mid. Now, B.O.T.'s been watching this for the entire round. He's just now started to back away. So Bobasaur might catch a good timing here. As that Molotov rains in, they can anticipate someone being aggressive over here towards the top of middle. Somebody hears the footsteps going back towards B. And this gives TyLoo a bit of a mental picture as to what's going on. They know that if someone's just rotated in from the top of mid, they're going to have a far easier time of taking it. They also know that the A bomb site's probably spread thin. So it looks like they're going to turn their attention towards the A split, and it's going to fall to Bunkai and Splashski.
TyLoo right now. 3 players in towards mid. 1 Palace and 1 towards the ramp position. Poised to go for an A split through connector. And especially as well as they go 1 for 1 in terms of kills. Even more for somebody as he gets the second. Maybe they're getting a bit greedy here as he charges in through the smoke towards jungle. Doesn't even matter though as his teammate B.O.O.T-ds there to clean up the pieces. Just impression now on the 1 versus 3. 8 seconds left on the clock. The bomb has to be planted.
It's going to go down just in the nick of time. Impression thought maybe he'd done enough. Tried to hide away. That would have been a perfect play from him had the bomb fallen out of reach of TyLoo. He's going to find somebody as well. He was the star back on Dust 2 for B.O.O.T, and he's going to manage another impression. Looking to put the impress back in his name as he finds himself now in the 1v1. Time ticking down, and B.O.O.T left to overthrow. Impression charges in, and he's going to find them all. The defuse looks to come through. He has a kit, so he's going to have time. And B.O.O.T will manage a 4th round there on the back of impression. He's going to keep the dream alive. But immediately in response to that, a pause called in for TyLoo.
I believe there's a 1 versus 4 there. Denies the bomb plant. Grants themselves the 1 versus 3, and they give away those early frags carelessly. Player dying towards bench. Player getting caught in the crossfire as well towards the default triple box. And B.O.O.T, 13 HP in the 1 versus 1. It can't be him to blame.
That was an interesting stat we just had on the screen. 89% of TyLoo's rounds on LAN are multi-kill rounds. That is mental.
Yeah, I mean, it goes to show that the players individually are strong. Bente especially. Xcure can have his rounds with AWP that wants to remember. But then somebody as well, you know, these players are very good with the high sensitivity as well to flick between heads and get those multi-frags. Obviously, that poses the question of how do they still lose rounds in that sense if they are getting so many multi-kills? Why they're not using that man advantage leverage if it is, you know, 2 kills and then they eventually get traded?
Well, this round, they've already found themselves that man advantage, and it's Bulbasaur to fall. If you recall, I mean, in the game versus Gambit, he was the man top of the board for B.O.O.T. Now versus TyLoo, though, he's been consistently struggling. For TyLoo, they've switched things up since finding that man advantage. Smoke goes down over here towards window. Now they try and seek control of the top of mid. The flash blinds Splashski perfectly. He's going to get tagged up by the AK. Somebody chases him down from lower tunnels, and Buntet deletes Tommy over on short. Wherever TyLoo go, they're only going to be running into one man, whether it's A or B. And it looks to be impression that gets tested. He was able to win out a 1v4 in the round prior, but this time it's asking too much of it.
Going to be going for the save here, and with good reason as well. If you remember, it was impression to have the 1 versus 3 on that A site in the last round, but emphasis on the 1. As in terms of cash, B.O.O.T's money is going to be sent into disarray. TyLoo have reset them with 5 players alive. As Benkai does try to save. B.O.O.T going to be hunting, obviously. The cash is so strong right now for TyLoo, so they can afford some losses here if they go for the hunt. For Benkai, only the M4 and Molotov and Diffuse get to work with, so into this next round, if B.O.O.T do force it and lose it, I think that's GG. If they get fully reset and lose the next round if they force it.
Yeah, I could get behind that. I mean, this is a fantastic map for TyLoo. And we've seen something that I've now dubbed the Singapore's called on in for B.O.O.T. Decision's going to be what are they going to do in this round, what are they going to do in the next. If they buy now, which, you know, seems fairly likely, you have, what, like, you know, one player who can afford anything decent into the next round. The rest of the guys going to be looking very, very bare.
Yep. Even so, I mean, impression has $3,000, so he could save this one, get the loss bonus, and I mean, even then, it's only going to be $5,000. Not enough to drop over an AWP with Kevlar as well. So he could go for a glass cannon AWP on his CT side if you wanted to. Tommy there on your screen is not exactly looking too elated or positive or optimistic.
No, I think justifiably so as well. I mean, they've not been having the best time of things here. Xcure able to open up, and that was the one weapon they really had much investment in. He's actually able to find a double. They're able to retrieve the scout at the very least, but it's just aim duel after aim duel over here in mid, going the way of TyLoo. Splashki and Bunkai left alive. What can they even do? 2 versus 5, trying to hold back the horde of TyLoo. Oh, let's not throw this one away, guys. D.D. able to trade. They get control of the situation once again. It's Bunkai all the way in T-spawn. Actually in a pretty good spot to do some damage. I'm not sure they anticipate this. I think they might think he's maybe found Xcure's AWP over towards mid.
Wow, coming in through Palace. May have the drop on a few players here, but considering this is how the force buy has ended for B.O.O.T., it's not looking too good for them going forward. TyLoo now guaranteed 8 rounds minimum, which means they have won the half on their T side once again after losing the pistol round. As it seems like we're maybe getting the exact same affair from the last map. B.O.O.T. win the pistol, go 3-0 up. They win one more buy round, but apart from that, TyLoo win the remainder. There is still a few more rounds to play for, 3 at that, or 4, apologies. But let's see. Can B.O.O.T. try and avoid that 11-4 half where it puts so much added pressure on for the pistol? As obviously they lost that on Dust 2 and it concluded to a 14-4 scoreline. And that's how you feel right now, Harry?
I don't know. I'd like to think I'm more positive. Here we go. B.O.O.T. stacking all 5 players inside of A. Bulbasaur has a Zeus. Keep an eye on that. Will we see any electrifying plays? Well, there's D.D. to open up on an impression. They go charging on in. And this is what TyLoo love, an aim duel. They love an aim duel or 2. Bulbasaur's going to find one, but there we go. This is just like a DM server. They're going to shut down everyone as they walk into the stack. It's a team ace for TyLoo. We know that's not something they do all too often. They've done it now. And here's the buy from B.O.O.T. It's going to be a AWP invested into from Splashki. He has armor behind it. The rest of the guys going to be grabbing their buys now. One thing that I'm really not liking is, you know, still, I would like to see, you know, a couple more incendiaries bought up stuff just to deny these rushes from TyLoo. They've got none of that, and they haven't really had it in any of these rounds. TyLoo just been barreling into bomb sites, barreling into mid time and time again.
This is a good point to bring up, actually. When you think about how TyLoo do play, it is about grouping up as a unit, almost like a batching random and sending themselves into a site as a ball of fury. One Molotov could deny the push of 3 or 4 players in towards a site through a choke point. And that could be very, very effective going forward. But I agree with you in terms of the Molotovs. So far, though, 9-4, 5-round advantage for TyLoo as we head into the penultimate round of the half, round number 14. AWP for Xgrip on their T side, but apart from entry frags towards the A side, it's been somebody at middle just to deny any chance for B.O.O.T. to have a chance into most of these rounds. Benton as well has been phenomenal. So far, it just feels like the individual players are all on the side for TyLoo. But into this one, though, Harry, 2 players towards top mid, 2 towards underpass. That usually signifies a mid, my goodness, a mid-window boost. But Tommy's there, inside the smoke, ready and waiting for that sort of play.
Kai out from Connector, going to manage one. Tries to get away, but been able to trade straight away. So he falls, impression, going to get forced out from short and actually opens up to Xcure. Tommy trapped on the other side of this smoke now. Bulbasaur down ramp. He's the man I think we want to be keeping an eye on in this sort of situation as they go flooding on in. There's the first frag from Bulbasaur. That's the bomb dropped. And B.O.O.T., what a kill to find. Second now to his name. And Xcure and D.D. keep on walking in. Keep giving him these opportunities. And that's the round going to be going the way of B.O.O.T. 5-9. Or 9-5 if you're a Dolly Parton fan. And here's the buy to come on through from TyLoo. One thing I will say is it feels, you know, like B.O.O.T., they play quite aim-based CS, you know, quite individual, right? And I think so did TyLoo, right? And then you go toe-to-toe, and I just think TyLoo have more firepower. That's the issue that feels like B.O.O.T maybe are running into right now. A lot of it's very individualistic. There's not... It doesn't really ever feel like they have these crossfires set up. You notice a lot of the fights that go down are just one-on-ones.
Oh.
That's a nice frag from Splashski, though, and he's dropped Execute, someone who's routinely found these man advantages over here in mid.
We've seen a lot less team play from the first best of 3. NRG versus Hellraisers. Notice that on Dust 2 just immediately with the lack of utility usage from B.O.O.T. That's a big problem for them. They are walking into the crosshairs of each other, and when you look at the list of names on TyLoo, it is definitely going to be heavily stacked in their favor in that regard when it comes down to the one-on-ones. But minute 10 left on the clock here, as early on, Execute taken out of the sky like a hawk a hare. But final rounds here as B.O.O.T try to make this 1-9-6. If they can win the second half pistol as well, get to a 9-9 scoreline and try battle back on their T side. And who knows, maybe win 2 pistols in the map and use that as their leverage.
Yeah, this is one of the first times in a long time as well that TyLoo have had to try and claw their way back from a man disadvantage. There's Captain Mo with an opener. That's impression falling in apartment. Splashski rotates in, catches Captain Mo on the cross. A 3rd kill now from Splashski as he looks to try and cement another round for B.O.O.T. He will be toppled by somebody on the flank round, but now with 25 seconds left, the bomb dropped at the feet of Tommy over here in short. The Molotov to try and flush him out. Somebody looking to arise to the occasion. 2nd kill. As now he finds himself locked in the 1v1. Taps on the bomb. Oh, B.O.O.T, clash of the Titans, and somebody repositions onto the bench. Time ticking down, needs the 4K to find this 10th round for TyLoo, and he's just going to get caught looking away. Bunkai picks that up and locks in the 6th round for B.O.O.T. As we go 9-6 at the end of the first half. A fighting chance this time around for B.O.O.T to find success in the second half. Will we see them pull that off and claw this back to a 3rd map, or is it going to be a repeat of the utter domination from Dust 2? We'll find out after a quick break. B.O.O.T were looking a little bit tongue-tied, but now they've pulled their socks up and they've started to put their hearts and souls into this match. 9-6 at the end of the first half, still in favor of TyLoo. But it gives B.O.O.T a fighting chance here in map number 2 of the winners' best of 3.
Fighting chance indeed if they can win the second half pistol. That is the big key to victory here for B.O.O.T. They want a chance at going to that third map Inferno. However, for TyLoo, with the 9-6 advantage, now onto the favoured CT half. This could be all said and done already, but still a chance here. Splashki going to be having the P215 towards Palace. Tommy as well charged and storming in towards CT. Is this extra at somebody with 2 as well, and Captain Mo to try and hold the line towards CT, but doesn't quite manage it.
No, it's just Tommy left alive, and he's good for 1, but that is it. TyLoo, a 10th round of their name, and a shot now at going 12-6 up here on Mirage, their map pick. They currently sit 1-0 in this series after a convincing win on Dust 2, the map pick of B.O.O.T. Can they keep that going on their home ground map? Well, their success look a little bit shaky, much like my voice did just then.
Speaking of home ground, TyLoo will play on home soil if they do win this match at ChinaJoy in China itself. It's in the name. But round number 17 here. It's going to be the, I would say, quasi buy here from B.O.O.T. No Kevlar to back up the force buy. Instead, just investing into 1 flashbang, light utility onto Tommy. Upgraded pistols across the board here for B.O.O.T. But apart from that, a bare bones buy, and Extra actually whipping out the AUG. Is that gun you use in MM as well?
All the time, mate. You know me, I love an AUG and a Bison. Yeah, Execute with the AUG. I don't know how to comment on it. I think it's fun. And we're all a fan of fun Counter-Strike at the end of the day. Execute gonna go ahead and shut down Emperor. Oh, Splashki jumping through the sky. Manages 1, but that's it. And now an 11th round for TyLoo. B.O.O.T didn't buy in the previous round, but they also didn't get the bomb down. They can't afford to buy now. We get the AUG replay. Oof, this is a gun that you will probably only ever see used once or twice again after this date. Ever.
11-6. Once again, the eco from B.O.O.T. No Kevlar. It's going to be 1 smoke onto Splashki, 2 flashbangs from Impression, and upgraded pistols across the board. So nothing really too heavy to invest into. TyLoo as well, starting things off. Axcurate chimes in with the scout, and actually 2 frags found onto the site here. A 3rd as well from Impression. As they make their mark on the A side, the smoke will shroud the plant as well, so the bomb does get planted. And now we have a round on our hands.
We most certainly do. B.O.O.T has worked his way in close. The artillery rains on in from somebody, and B.O.O.T finishes things off. So even though it goes down to the wire far closer than it ever should have, B.O.O.T and somebody are quick to rise to the occasion. Get back on top of things. 12-6 now. As the buy comes in for B.O.O.T. This is going to be their first chance here. Throwing a spanner in the works and making this second map that much closer.
12-6 then into the 19th round. TyLoo doubling the scoreline being put up currently by B.O.O.T. And the Molotov, not failed, actually thrown there on purpose, as it does deny the window smoke and grants him this perfect view towards middle. And I doubt B.O.O.T are going to be ready for this one unless they do a perfectly placed flashbang. This should be the first frag found by Excurrent as they do slowly approach the peak in towards middle. Splashki just holding slow and steady. I actually think Tommy must have given away the information that actually the window was not smoked. As in terms of communication, B.O.O.T do all speak English essentially from Singapore. And for TyLoo, it's 3 languages. Bahasa, Indonesian from Excurrent, and Bentep, Chinese for the remaining players, and English varying in between that to try and see if they can communicate across the borders. Excurrent doesn't speak Chinese.
Yeah, you want to know why their aim is so good? It's because you have to be. There's times where you don't all understand each other. There's Captain Mo finding the first frag onto Tommy. Obersaw now to look to try and take his place. At the top of connector, flash out from Captain Mo, but Mobasor wins that initial fight. Now into a 4-on-4, continuing this aggression in towards A. Somebody's tucked away and they haven't spotted him out just yet. B.O.O.T-ds gets their attention. Now somebody who bides his time can look to try and shut this whole plan down. It's him and Excurate between them. Finding frags left and right. Ultimately, Splashski 30 HP versus B.O.O.T-ds. And only 12 seconds. B.O.O.T-ds knows if he just waits, this bomb has to go down if Splashski wants to win the round. He taps on it, holds CT, shot missed, and B.O.O.T-ds runs away, but Splashski hunts him down. B.O.O.T-ds gonna find themselves around here. They're gonna go 7-12.
Wow. 1 second left on the clock there. Splashski charges down B.O.O.T-ds towards CT. I thought he'd won it there, denying the plant. But strong initiative there from Splashski to whip out the pistol and charge down B.O.O.T-ds. 12-7 as the first buy round is won by B.O.O.T on their T side. But for TyLoo, they will be going for the force buy or investment into the AWP from somebody. CZs across the board, backed up as well by Kevlar. In terms of utility, it's only going to be onto Excurate. Currently playing towards the B-bomb site. Has B.O.O.T just hold initially, expecting CT aggression to come early.
Well, there's that first kill. Toted by somebody. They know where this AWP is now. B.O.O.T even gets the information, the impression is over here in the apartments. Spots him out. Now the rest of the gang start to head on through. Somebody watching the cross. In come the smokes, flashes, Molotov. Force B.O.O.T off the angle. He holds close, and Excurate and somebody managing 2 kills between them. Surely they don't win this partial buy. It's just Splashski left alive, and somebody going to eliminate him. 4 kills there for the man in question. Not usually someone who dons the AWP for TyLoo, but he does it there and he does it well, picking up a 13th round and resetting the economy of B.O.O.T.
That should be it. Money reset, as you said, back down to $1,800 across the board now. And a 4K from somebody. Gets the first kill towards underpass. The information is found by TyLoo in towards the B apartments. The rotation comes in from his teammates. They relay the info. And now it's all down to the force buy from B.O.O.T. If they lose the force buy, it's 14 for TyLoo, then an eco and arguably match point. And a similar affair as what we saw on Dust 2. 15-6 if you remember. And it could be a 50-7 one on Mirage. But bomb, T-spawn, lent towards the A site. Other remaining players as well going to be making their mark towards A. As is just going to be a sole UMP for impression. 3 Deagles and 1 CZ for Tommy. And 1 flashbang to rule them all here.
It does not do that. Instead, there's just going to be the mow down. Excurate and Captain Mo finding everything on this push on in. It ends up looking more like Lord of the Flies as opposed to Lord of the Rings over there towards ramp.
Nice.
That's going to be 14-7. TyLoo looking comfortable here. Same cannot be said for the B.O.O.T boys.
$2,000 for the bank balance of the players on B.O.O.T. As we mentioned in the last round, most likely going to be an eco here, as they are using their last time out, or second to last one. So, full eco here from B.O.O.T. TyLoo going to be the heavy favourites in this round to get themselves the match point, and B.O.O.T will be playing from a 7-15 deficit, as long as no antics do happen with the Glock. But Harry, do you see an 8-round win streak for B.O.O.T to bring this back to OT?
I mean,
you could be honest here.
My mind says no, but my heart says B.O.O.T are never out of this. So let's wait and see. Maybe they are out of this. They go running down into the waiting guns of the boys inside of B. It's B.O.O.T and somebody to shut them down. 15-7 map and series point going the way of TyLoo here. They need one more round to secure their spot in the semi-finals here at IEM Shanghai. And for B.O.O.T., this means they have one final bye, one last chance to try and keep themselves in this. Try and keep the dream alive.
Excurrent with the orb going to be peering in towards underpass. No one here though from B.O.O.T. early on. That will mean he can clear out towards the B half of the map and allow the rotations from B.O.O.T. and somebody to go towards the A site, as already they're starting to leave the B site and come off short and slowly compress towards the A site against B.O.O.T. But Impression worms his way through the smoke in towards Con, gets spotted out towards stairs as the frags start to come through.
He catches off B.O.O.T. They have no idea he's there now. Excurrent in position to trade. He even spots the man up in Palace. I believe he tags him down with the orb, comes back round, finishes things off. Oh, Excurrent's feeling good right now. Third kill to his name. It's all onto Splashki. In a 1v2, the flash rains in, and Excurrent's done all he can. He's going to do that much more. And he closes it out for TyLoo, 16-7, as they win this series in a 2-0 fashion.
26 frags there for Excurrent, 25 for somebody. For my money, somebody was the MVP on T side and opening up those sites and getting those entry kills across the map. But Excurrent on that CT side just dominating B.O.O.T. as they try to come through middle, come up through connector each and every time he held the line.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal stuff there from TyLoo. They can take a deep breath. They have some time now to relax, watch some of these VODs as well, see how the rest of the teams are playing before they take part in the semi-finals in a few days' time. B.O.O.T., they have to continue fighting through this group stage to try and secure their spot in front of the crowd at ChinaJoy. But commiserations to them. You can see the handshakes all around. TyLoo, they're going to be feeling good about this one. But we're going to have to give this over to the boys on the desk. Trace, take it away.
Yes, thank you very much, guys. And good work today. Congratulations, you have survived another day. Guys, also surviving another day would be B.O.O.T., because they're not out, but TyLoo have advanced.
TyLoo have advanced, and they did it in a fashion that I don't think any of us really expected. I mean, we both painted the picture that TyLoo is the better team and they should be winning this one, but taking it so convincingly 2-0 with the scorelines they did was maybe a little bit too much.
Yeah, especially on the T side, I think on Mirage, I think things just completely fell apart for B.O.O.T. Right? Extra just running in with the AWP alone and getting kills at will. That's pretty much the tale of that game. For Dreamscape, yeah, they still have a chance. They're still not out of the tournament. They, they still beat Gambit earlier on, so they have the chance working for them. But if you look at all the players, Bulbasaur, our dear Bobo, didn't quite step up. He's been, he's in a stand-in. He really had some pretty good performances earlier, especially against Gambit, where he was like 29 kills something. Here he had 13 frags in 2 maps. That's not really going to help matters. But then again, if you look at the rest of the team as well, no one really stepping up. And yeah, TyLoo just pretty much running away with it. They were death matching at one point.
Yeah, I think B.O.O.T. is going to blow you away here any second. So it's just kind of, Okay, maybe not the fist bumps, but definitely a lot of fist bumps over on the side of TyLoo. Pimp, what were some of your takeaways here that, we could talk all day about how, hey, TyLoo's the favorite ones. These are the guys that are to look forward to win this whole thing. But what about on the other side?
I mean, the interesting part to me is in this whole thing is how bad is Gambit, We saw
they're not even playing right now,
no,
but
we
okay.
saw B.O.O.T. winning. I wouldn't say convincingly, but we saw B.O.O.T. winning 16-12, and now we see them getting absolutely blown out of the water by TyLoo now. So, were Gambit just having a game off, or was that the real level? And can B.O.O.T. replicate that? In
So we're going with the classic HLTV logic of Dreamscape, B.O.O.T.scape beat Gambit, TyLoo destroyed B.O.O.T.scape, and TyLoo, by that logic, will completely dismantle Gambit. How bad are Gambit?
Who knows? But we're probably going to see a rematch between B.O.O.T. and Gambit potentially. So it's going to be one of those cases where I really want Gambit to step up, and I'm afraid that B.O.O.T. can't replicate that performance in a best-of-3 scenario. Well,
there is one man that steps up time and time again, and this gentleman himself is no stranger to the interviews in the spotlight, as he has certainly deserved it. We do have B.O.O.T. standing by with Matt. Let's hear what they got.
You're talking about me, aren't you, Stunner?
Absolutely not, but carry on.
B.O.O.T., yeah, we're going to see you at ChinaJoy, a place I know you know from previous tournaments, but you must be so proud that you are going to have this chance to compete in front of your home crowd.
Yes, you're absolutely right, because our goal is to play our home crowd, like what I said before, but we already made it, so it means we have to make our new goal, which is to be a champion, I guess.
Yeah, that's not a bad goal to have, is it? But you said earlier on your goal was to get there. Now having seen all the teams today, are you more confident you can go all the way?
I think it depends if we have a good sleep, a good practice, and not like today, some of our team have not feel really well because I think he got sick, Didi, but tomorrow is a free day. We can take a really good rest, but we also practice tomorrow. So I think if we all feel fit without any sick, I think we can make it to the champion.
So Didi wasn't feeling well today. Yeah. That's terrifying because he was just walking all over people during that last game.
Yeah, I don't know. At Mirage, even if he's sick, he's just make a lot of impact for us. Yeah. But in Dust 2, in early round, he not wake up because he just say he died in B. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But he step up in the middle of the game. We know that he's sick, so we don't give him pressure. We just cheer him up, and finally we made it.
Definitely worked for Didi. Definitely worked for TyLoo. They're going to be going through as top of the group. You go through to the semi-final stage. Congratulations, B.O.O.T-ds.
Thank you.
Stunner, back to you.
Very much. There we go. Thank you very much, Matt. And yes, you know what? Actually, I believe he has been here with us this entire time. He has endured what was certainly shaping up to be a little bit longer of a day. But hats off to you too, Matt. You're killing it out there, bud. Now, just like killing it, Matt is, so is B.O.O.T-ds.
Yeah, B.O.O.T-ds, right? Top ranking in Dust 2. Hey, bear in mind, like he didn't really go out of this world on Mirage, but credit to that guy. He's an absolute beast. And Didi being sick, unfortunately, he had a crazy ace on Dust 2, by the way, despite being sick. But I'll tell you who's sick. Xcurate on the T side of Mirage with that AWP, just whooping everyone. And of course, somebody, I think he had over 50 frags in 2 maps, and in my opinion, he just was unplayable. I felt just pushing in through smokes, getting kills at will. What do you do if a Dreamscape at that point, right?
True, and it's one of the things that TyLoo can do. They have the players and the abilities to be unpredictable and be annoying to play against. We often paint Angel from Hellwiz as being one of those players that you don't want to go up against because he's so hard to play against, because you never really know what he's doing, and roughly he probably doesn't know himself sometimes. So it's tough to do anything against it in that sense. So I feel TyLoo have a higher peak than we even saw here.
It's hard to know what you're going to do, or it's hard to know what the enemy is going to do if they don't know what they're going to do, exactly. Right? I think that's a sentiment. I know what we're going to do right now, and that's going to be take a look at the B bracket. Because TyLoo have secured their semi-final berth, and well, just like that, B.O.O.T are still in this. They're not out, and as well as Gambit and Greyhound. So, I mean, ultimately, this bracket probably shaped up a little bit like we thought. Maybe not the Gambit loss.
Besides the Gambit one, yeah. But again, they can still make it. They have Greyhound in a lower bracket game that could potentially be a close one if Gambit doesn't step it up a bit. Whereas B.O.O.T, they have their hands full. Should it be Gambit in a best of 3 in the lower bracket?
Okay, well, let's go ahead and switch it over to Group A. And you know what? I think Group A was also, never mind, perhaps not. We'll go to Group A a different time. But yes, Group B has shaped up to be...
We can talk about Group A. Group A was who going through? It was NRG.
Yes.
Expected the team as well. So now we're waiting on who's going to be joining them. Is it going to be Gambit or... I don't remember the other teams, to be honest.
You know, I feel like we should be able to take a look at those things, but you know, I'm not entirely sure that. Oh, there we go. Group A. Boom. No, it's completely okay. Everything's under control. Slow, smooth as fast. Just like Virtus.pro's ascent, not their descent, their ascent to that semifinal berth. It's gonna be a long path with them. They're gonna have to fight through 5 power. And then Hellraisers after that.
Isn't it fun that we never really talk about them anymore? They're at the tournament.
Yeah, I forgot if VP's here. I literally forgot. That should never happen.
I saw Passion in the elevator. He's pretty big still.
You know what? You know what scares me though? They're playing 5 power tomorrow. If they lose to 5 power,
then what? They've done it before. Like it's VP in a nutshell. On the other hand, you know, they usually have success in China, so it would be one of the teams that could potentially turn it around, and you could say here and say, like, okay, VP are back, and then next tournament it's going to be the same.
It's the same emotional Polish roller coaster that you sign up for as a Virtus.pro fan.
Very nice way to say it.
Yes, and perhaps tomorrow we take a look at some of the matches that they will be playing. You can see them loaded up right there. 5 power Virtus.pro, Gambit and Greyhound, and, well, Hellraisers and To Be Determined. They do have just a little bit of leniency as they can watch those opponents kind of build up to that moment. Interesting matchups there tomorrow, guys. Real quick thoughts on that.
I mean, the first one is going to be interesting because if VP is here to play, we're going to see it against 5 Gaming tomorrow. Whereas Gambit, you know, they came off very weak today, but again, if they're here to play and if they have something to offer, it'll be tomorrow to show it.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like Greyhound, you know, they kind of struggled a little bit today. It was the best one as well, and I think, you know, considering that if you look at Sydney recently, in pretty recent memory, they had a pretty deep run. They beat some pretty very well-known teams, right? So I think that's going to be the game to watch tomorrow at the very least. I think the first one, VP, no matter how horrendous they look right now, I think they should take that win.
Hey, they have feelings too.
I know. I like them, man. I love them. I like Neo. I love Pasha. I like Polish Counter-Strike.
Nice. I also like Polish Counter-Strike.
I'm a
And I
believer.
believe in you, Virtus Pro. Just get it together, please, for the love of Saint Nick and all of that is proper with Christmas. Either way, we're going to be cutting it off right about here. That does it for us. The first day in the books here at the Intel Extreme Masters Shanghai 2018. Tomorrow should be no less action. Anyway, make sure you're here with us. We'll be back tomorrow.